welcome to this week's ideaSPACE Craft-A-Long. My name is Christiana Urbano. I'm a librarian at the Public Library of Brookline. I work with our ideaSPACE program. And while the library is closed for right now, we're doing a weekly Craft-A-Long video where we learn from one of our librarians how we can use different craft supplies we probably have lying around the house to make some art or do something creative. And this week we have one of our archivists, Jess, here, and she's going to be showing us how to make found nature art. So if you're following along at home, what you will need is some kind of found nature. So you might want to go on a walk around your neighborhood or maybe on a hike. So I have a stick and a rock. Jess will show us what she has in just a minute. And then whatever you want to use to decorate those things. So I have with me, I have some acrylic paints, and I also have some acrylic paint pens, and we'll see what Jess has as well. So I'm going to pass it off to her because she's going to be leading us this week. Hi, Jess.
Hi, Christiana. So thanks very much for the intro. I am also in the land of acrylic paints. Trying to remember where I got my acrylic paint, probably somewhere at the local art store. It is just, it might have been Playtime in Arlington, actually, since that's one of my favorite art stores. But it's just a little set of colors that's super washed out from that angle. How about there? Anyway, they're like 10 milliliters, tiny, because I was like, oh, what's 2 ounces? This is like 2 ounces. Oh, you have a very nice rock. That is such a good rock.
Isn't it great? I literally looked out my window yesterday because I was going to go get stuff for this. Yeah. And I saw this rock from inside and I was like, that is my rock.
That is such a good rock. I have a few neighbors who've been giving me a few rocks. So like some of the ones that I've spoiler alert, decorating. I've already decorated one, but like this one that says compassion.
Aww.
Is so good. And but yeah, I have some rocks. I did while I was waiting for this to start, I did a little yin yang on this one so that it would be dry before we got started. And I have neighbors next door who had a whole bunch of oysters, and I could see them we talk, and it's like, oh, look at those oyster shells. What you doing with those? Nothing? Can I paint them? So I've got oyster shells. And I even brought in from my basement, just a potting, like crockery. I guess that's not technically nature though. And a naked rock.
Found.
I found it. Yeah, I found it in my basement. So you found that rock just outside of your door?
Yeah, right outside my apartment. There's like a big clump of bushes nearby. Cool. And I found this really good stick too.
Oh, that is a good stick. I have a very, very small stick. It's hard not to have sticks in one's yard. I have a yard. If you have a yard, I should say. And so I added a little white paint just so that I can have some contrast for funsies. Do you have a plan for your design?
Not like super much. I am picking colors and putting them on.
Yeah.
I wanted to say something, I haven't decided what. It might just say like, hello.
Yeah, I think hello is a very friendly little thing to say. So some of the ones that I've already done, I mostly like to do colors. I just like to play with color more than anything, and it doesn't have to mean or do anything. But this one has real nice swirly pattern on it, and it says sanity. And my friend goes diving, and so got me a whole bunch of scallop shells. And so here's like the unvarnished one, and then on the inside has this really wild bright pattern. I did that last month.
Where do they go diving? Do they go diving locally or?
Yeah, they do. Well, wherever they can, although, obviously not right now. But yeah, I requested last summer or the summer before, will you please bring me shells that I can decorate? And then they sat in my garden for this whole time. And then I realized I wanted to do a project like this. I don't know if I showed you this before, Christiana.
No, that's very fun.
So I took old scraps of wood and hot glued them together to make sort of like a background, and then painted the shells and then glued them down. And so I have a whole mess of these, and they are decorating my bedroom now.
I like them. They would be really good bookends.
Oh, you're right. They would. That would make a fabulous. All right, great. Now I have more ideas. Thank you. But it doesn't have to be that fancy. I also have like this one that says live. I like swirlies. Swirl patterns are my favorite.
I'm very excited because I feel like this will be fun. What I think I'm going to do with mine is I'm going to take them back out into the nature and then hide them somewhere.
I think I will do that too with most of them. Not my bookend. I'm not that nice, as it turns out. I have a limit to my nice. Have you ever used interference colors?
I'm not sure.
Interference, like this is, they look pretty much like nothing in particular. They look mostly like white or pearlescent, but then when you put it on, it looks super dramatic. Let's see, I need to demonstrate that a little bit on the outside here. So if you put black down, I'm gonna have to wait for a minute and show you in a sec. But interference colors just have this really cool pearlescent quality to them. Kind of adds to the, I don't know, cool sci-fi, otherworldly qualities. How are your cats?
They're doing good. I got to open up the window so they're not screaming at us this week.
Oh, that's good.
That's one of their favorite hobbies.
Well, I feel like cats screaming out at their humans is sort of like a very fine pastime for felines.
Well, and because this is right around like almost dinner time.
Yeah.
So they like to come and say hi. But I think they're successfully distracted by the great outdoors.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like outdoor TV.
We have an air conditioner like cage because our apartment is on the ground floor. There's a big cage that has to go on. There are TVs on the windows, and then you have to have a cage for the air conditioner.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't really have an air conditioner, at least definitely not this early in the year.
No.
So we can open up. So we put a blanket out on the air conditioner cage, and they just like curl up like it's a personal porch. And all of the people on the ground floor do that in our building. They all put their little blankets out, and then you just see like lines of cats.
I miss cats. I haven't had a cat since I moved out of my mama's house.
Oh.
Maybe someday. So right now I'm just adding a quick thin layer of purple to the inside of this oyster shell. Because I can, because purple's my favorite color. Did you know that?
It matches your shirt.
Exactly. So now I was thinking of maybe doing something like balance for the yin yang. It seems like it's a on theme thing. What other word could one put in if not balance? I'm thinking about that. I don't even know. I'm out of white. Good thing it's all right here. Did you? I'm a, what's the word I'm looking for? An inattentive coworker, and I haven't been watching much of the current live streams yet. But thank goodness I can go look at them later. Have you talked about Bob Ross yet?
I definitely feel a little bit like I'm trying to be Bob Ross.
Yeah.
I do not, and it makes me think about how impressive it is that Bob Ross was Bob Ross.
Yeah.
Because he would just do everything in like this one big long take, and that's really cool.
That is so hardcore. That's just such, like, that is just sort of like, it is good. I mean, I think that one of the best words to describe Bob Ross is pure. And I did not appreciate him when he was creating at the time. But I do now.
And that he did everything that he did was like just sort of your basic color set.
Uh-huh.
Which I never really realized until I went in and watched them and more of the videos, and I was like, wow. Like, I always cheat. I feel like I'm cheating a little bit because I always get the paints all pre-mixed for me. But he does a lot with just kind of your basic sets.
Yeah, I did a mostly basic set of all of the primaries and, you know, like the rainbow colors, and then all of the interference colors on principle because they're brand new. I just got them in the mail, I think 2 days ago. And I'm wondering if I'm so impatient. I just want to show you like right now, like, will it work? So I don't know if how well you can see that I've added blue to the edge of this current painting.
Yeah.
And so I'm adding, oh my god, that is so flipping cool. It's making it an entirely different shade of blue, which is a lot lighter, but when I put this under more direct sunlight, it's going to kind of have this really cool pearly color to it. So this is interference blue, and I have interference gold, which I'm going to put on top of the next to it. Let's see. Yeah, okay. I suspect that our cameras couldn't possibly show the detail that I want to show ever.
You can take a photo later though.
Yeah.
And you could post it so you can see your finish, because that will usually pick up a little more than these.
Only if I'm, I guess, patient, maybe. I don't know. I am so glad I picked out multiple things to do, because I feel like a squirrel, like, ooh, I could do this, ooh, I could do this. How are you doing over there? I see light blue and white. Is that accurate, or is my camera deceiving me?
It is like a sherbet pink and blue.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello. That's so good.
Hello, friend.
Hello, friend.
I like the funky colors against the natural surface. It's very fun.
I like just, I don't know, I'm huge into like just the like the subtle shifts between colors. So for example, like here's one that has a whole lot of gold on it, but the way that it kind of goes from dark blue, heck, even my nails, I did like galaxy style nails the other day, and now they're all chipped. But the blue into the green into the gold, I like how it smushes.
holographic. This might just be like a striped stick.
A striped stick?
Striped stick.
Cool.
With fun, different size stripes.
I do not suffer from the I need to have a plan before I start applying paint to a thing. How about you?
I definitely feel that way when I have like a more I can get that kind of decision paralysis when I have like a canvas or something.
Oh, sure.
Because I feel like I'm gonna ruin the canvas, which is not how I think I should be approaching things.
Well, I feel like there's always, one can always cover it up, usually. I mean, there's very few things that can't be covered up on a canvas, right?
And also, it is, even if you don't hang the canvas on the wall at the end, you still did the art.
Yes. It's quite a thing to just be able to be zen about it like Bob Ross.
Yeah. And like, there's so many, like when you're a kid and you have all your special stickers, but then you never put your special stickers on anything.
Yes, that was me.
Yes. That's like,
just saved them.
I still have a lot of stickers and I still get nervous. That's what it's for. Mm-hmm. On things.
Yeah, lately I've been going ahead and just using the stickers lately. The metaphor, it's not necessarily always a sticker, but I'm going ahead and using my art projects and not thinking about, oh, I'm going to save this for later. I don't know enough Latin to modify carpe diem to seize the art.
I don't know art in Latin. I did take Latin. I don't remember.
Okay, I just remembered to look up. It says, from will to everyone, remind us what kind of paints we're using right now. They are acrylic paints. We're both using acrylic paints. And do they have to be that kind of paint? Absolutely not. You could, well, I like acrylic paints best because they dry fast, they're non-toxic, and
you probably have them.
You probably have them.
Like if you have paint.
Probably. I mean, like oil paint would be another choice, and I have to admit, I have never, ever, ever used oils. Not once in my many decades of arting.
I don't think I have either. I think I use tempera.
Yeah, which is
cool.
Yeah, and I feel like that just lacks the finesse. I don't know, tempera seems like
temperamental.
Yeah.
Temperamental.
Or at least it's not as flexible as I want my art to be. So here I like doing like purples into oranges into yellows. And so that's what I'm doing. Okay, and then the next bit is, let's see, have you always been into painting nature objects? Nah, well, have I always been into painting nature objects? I feel like I've always been encouraged to be creative with how I do art. My background is that I grew up raised by artists. My mom is a visual artist and my father is very creative and visually attentive to things, even if he doesn't describe himself as a fine artist. He's a great photographer and a great engineer. So making things has always really been important and a priority, even if I don't get paid for it. I don't know, Christiane, do you think that, I mean, like, I feel like we work in a place where we're actually, where we can integrate our creative sides way more than I've ever worked in any other place.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that is why I feel like one of the reasons I wanted to be a librarian is because I couldn't pick one thing. And public librarians kind of don't have to pick one thing.
I definitely
do all the things.
I'm very happy to be a generalist for the most part. I love not having to choose two. And then what's that? There was like a little bit more question there. Do you remember the first time you? Oh God, no, like do you remember the first time you painted theoretically nature objects? What did you paint? I definitely have no memory of my earliest painting because I swear that when I was a child, I accidentally stuck part of a paintbrush up my nose and it stayed there. That's the kind of like I just art. I am art. I do art. And happen to help people find things on the internet and in our library when I get paid.
My dad is very good at watercolors.
Ooh.
And he used to try and teach me how to do watercolors. I never got like super good, but I did it a little bit.
Do you have any really early memories of early projects?
We used to sit, so we would go to Rhode Island and sit like on the shore and paint the boats.
Oh, that's nice.
It's very, yeah. So they're like so really cute photos of me and my dad sitting and watching the boats.
Oh.
And painting seagulls.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so that's...
And that was where he learned too. His watercolor teacher was an artist in Rhode Island.
Oh.
We would go to Rhode Island for the summers and take watercolor classes there.
Oh. Watercolor is so delightful. I really enjoy watercolor. That's another medium one could use under these circumstances. I wouldn't in this. I mean, watercolor is great for paper. Have you ever used watercolor in anything other than paper?
I don't think so. It would be it's such a... The colors are so light.
Yeah.
You don't have a lot of... The pigment is not super dense.
Yeah.
So it would be tricky to get a real imprint, I would think.
Yeah, and also I think it would wash off real easy if it got accidentally damp.
Oh yeah, that too.
I mean, they are watercolors. That's one of the things that I do like about acrylics is that they pretty much stay, although I did bring in an example of one that totally lost its little mind. This used to say calm, and now it is entirely illegible. And it's on a purple mussel shell, and it's super fragile, so I don't actually recommend mussel shells, but I can recommend oysters and quahogs. Do I have a quahog? Yes, I was just working on one. I think this is a quahog. Either way, clam. Regular old clam. I'm a fan of rocks too. This particular shell, Christiana, I got when I over 10 years ago in Mexico.
Oh.
And I've had it ever since. And I was like, well, I should do something with this. And it sat in my garden, and it sat in my basement, and now I'm just painting them.
The paint pens are very nice for this too.
Ooh.
If you have them.
I do have a few paint pens, but I didn't bring them over to my workspace, so I will leave that for another activity, I guess. Oh, good. The my yin yang has mostly dried, so I can probably write something soothing on the side of it. Okay, now I'm having decision paralysis. What should I write? What should I paint on it? Well, perhaps I will defer my decision here for a minute and do it later. I'm just deciding to paint this part purple instead. Tra-la.
The stick definitely is a little trickier. I think it needs more coats.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna work on my stick now that you mention it. I don't think I think I might see if my 8-year-old wants to turn this into another magic wand. We had such a good time, Dash and I, my 8-year-old, building with leftover pieces of wood and hot glue, and she just decided to build a set of drawers for a cardboard playhouse that she's using for her stuffed animals. She is the cutest. And it's not like she doesn't have, she has official magic wand from Harry Potter World, and then ones that she's made. So I was like, what's one more wand? You never know when you need another magic wand. So
just a duel.
So violent. So much dueling. Why, wizards, do you have to fight all the time?
There's a lot going on.
Yeah. I have to say, I've been really enjoying Rainbow Rowell's version of the Wizarding World.
It's so lovely.
Yeah, for those of you who have not had the opportunity, the author Rainbow Rowell has written a few books. One of them is called Carry On, and it's about it was such a meta book too.
It was wild.
So she wrote a book called Fangirl, in which the main character writes fan fiction, and then she wrote a book about the fan fiction from Fangirl. And I actually prefer the fan fiction to the original content, which I think is not unusual in this case, because it's just so good.
Fangirl was actually not my favorite.
Yeah. I liked it.
Of her books. But I love Carry On and the sequel. And now we have to wait and hope for more. Her tell what the status of that is. She did an event with the Booksmith.
Oh.
So I got to see her, and she was awesome.
There. I figure I'm going to end this particular craft along with my hands entirely covered in paint.
Yeah.
I feel like I would do it right if I do. Let's see. We're about at 4:28, so if anybody has just shown up, we are doing painting. Christiana and Jess are doing painting of found objects. Christiana has a stick and a rock, and I have a panoply of random stuff. I don't think I'm going to get to this. This is like an entirely different project. The painting.
Yeah, that seems like its own.
But one could find this in one's stuff, or one could find this at a store and paint it. So
there was a random broken piece of brick, like a big brick.
Oh yeah.
I thought I almost grabbed that.
Me too. I was like, yeah. Then I was like, nah, maybe not. Maybe I'll go back and get it later.
Right. That's how I kind of felt. So I was like, I think on it, because that feels like a commitment for some reason.
Really? Okay. Well, I think I'm going to go with writing balance on the blue of this rock, and this is totally going into my neighborhood somewhere. I'm going to switch to a smaller brush though.
And I have mentioned before that I am the most impatient artist. I hate waiting for paint to dry. So normally if I were doing this by myself, I would have a hair dryer next to me so that I could blow dry my paint, because literally I can't. That's very difficult for me.
I can relate to that deeply. I have found that if I take this, like, if I wasn't worried about random dog barkings, and like equipment making loud noises, I would have taken this all outside and sat in the sun to do this. But I imagine the visual fidelity would be not so great.
Then you don't have to worry as much about the paint getting everywhere too.
There's that, and the sun dries the paint so fast. So let's see. I think
I picked these really fun neons, but they take a few more coats.
Oh yeah, because they're more transparent, translucent. I'm going to use orange on the blue because those are opposites and it'll really stand out. I hope, unless it gets muddy.
One way to find out. But
you
can always put another coat of blue on top.
I could put another coat of blue on top. I could highlight with white around, like, to kind of make it, yeah, exactly. Or I could just kind of embrace the fact that it's just a little bit muddy. Is there a type of art that you haven't had a chance to try yet that you want to do?
That's a good question. I want to try punch needling really bad. That seems fun. Which is like it's kind of like a kind of embroidery. People haven't seen what that looks like before. It like you use this special stretchy cloth called weaver's cloth, and you use this little this needle that you kind of it feeds yarn directly into the needle, and you punch the needle through the fabric, and then it grabs the yarn.
Okay.
You make little loops.
I can visualize that.
If that kind of makes sense. You can Google it so you know what I mean. But it makes, so you make like kind of a mosaic out of little yarn loops.
That sounds lovely. So there's my not dried balance. If you had sun, direct sun, it would dry very, very, very fast.
That's pretty legible.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Is there a kind of art you would like to try, Jess?
I have thrown ceramic pot once.
Ooh,
and I want to do that more. But I always find art that dries out my hands.
Yeah, I have picked crocheting back up since we've been spending more time at home, and that has been a very good decision. I've been very happy about that because I was a very beginner crocheter before, and I feel a lot more comfortable. I feel like I could do like a much more complicated pattern if I wanted to now.
Good for you. So I don't know if I'm not going to mess with my camera, but right off screen I have my black Singer sewing machine that my mother gave me. That it used to be hers when she was a kid. And so I've been sewing with that. It turns out, did you know, Christiana, that if you don't have a sharp needle, you can't actually sew that well?
Oh no!
Yeah, that happened. But I feel better now because I have a sharp needle.
My mother has a beautiful old sewing table in the basement that still has an old sewing machine in it, but I don't think it runs.
Oh. Yeah, I've been sewing kind of a lot, and I feel so much more comfortable with it now than I ever have in my entire life because I've been practicing.
Yeah, I did my first real top stitching. I didn't even know what that was.
Can you tell me what top stitching is? Because I've heard that word, but I don't necessarily know what that entails.
So I have not looked up a definition, but my general understanding is that, like, when you buy something, so when you stitch two pieces of fabric together, you usually do it on the wrong side and then you flip it inside out.
Yeah.
Most clothing that you have also does like a nicer, like a secondary stitch that's actually on the outside.
Okay.
Helps the fabric lay flat along that seam and like kind of pins the seam allowance to the inside so that all lies flat and it looks much more finished than if you don't do that. So like if you look at the inseam on your jeans, you can see that there's a little line of thread that runs along that seam.
Yeah.
That you can actually see. And it's not necessary to hold the cloth together, but it just looks a lot nicer.
Yeah, I usually hear that in reference to quilting. I think.
Oh, I do want to try quilting, yes.
Oh, no, I don't. I'm going to leave that to the quilters.
Oh, I kind of want to do it.
Do it! Okay, you should do it. You should totally.
Well, because I'm working on a giant crochet blanket, and then I could quilt. Okay. But I'm nervous that I'm not precise enough.
Well.
But there's only one way to become more precise. Let's do it.
You are correct. You are in fact exactly correct. All right, I'm wondering if I dare put some more interference colors on top of these colors that I just laid down.
Very fun. I like those a lot.
Worst case scenario, add more color. I really need to just let it dry before I add this because
I know I'm at that point too where I have to wait.
I don't wanna. You have to wait for everything else. Why should I wait for the paint? I'll just. Oh, I can switch. I think that my. I don't know what you would like my. What would you call that? Sort of a gradient.
Yeah, like a sunset.
Yeah, my sunset is mostly dried, although my blue did weird things. I don't know what happened right there. So I've got a good bit of purple on the outside, and then I've got a nice bit of phthalo blue here, and then this weird washed out bit. And I don't know, I guess I overwatered it or something.
Huh.
That's cool. I can live with it. Just add more blue. Phthalo blue is the best color of blue.
I remember when we were ordering paints for the library, I was like, Jess will know which colors. And I brought the catalog to you and I was like, there are 8 blues, and you were like,
this one!
This one.
Yes, I have very strong feelings about which ones are the correct one.
I was like, I know Jess will have a strong opinion, and it will probably be the right opinion.
Why, thank you. Yeah. Of course, now that I've added this blue so that it's all even, I can't do anything, but I could add color to the inside. I think I will. This might be a good opportunity to just put the interference colors in, because it'll just make it all like shiny, like, and subtle. Probably too subtle. One of the ones that I did in advance is this one, and I can see a nice purple sheen in the sunlight and in the lamplight, but there's no way that a camera's going to pick that up, so
we'll just trust you then.
I guess y'all just have to trust me that there's a nice purple sheen on this. It's like
beautiful.
Like a top layer of your. It is beautiful because nature made it. Gosh, I miss people. I miss you, Christiana.
I miss you, Jess.
I miss everybody.
Mm,
I miss answering the phone at the library.
me too. It is nice to get to chat with people.
Yeah,
If you all have not used we have a reference chat
we do.
during our normal library hours. So from 10 to 6 every day during the week and on Saturdays. You
There are
can
humans waiting to
still
talk
talk
to
to a librarian.
you. There's like a little thing that comes up on our website that says, "Do you want to talk to a librarian?" They mean like literally a librarian sitting on the other end of the computer saying, "Please talk to me."
Yeah, it's not, there's no robot.
No robot.
No robot. I've had multiple people ask me if I am a robot.
I am not a robot. Beep,
And I'm
boop.
like, I'm not. I'm
Promise.
really here. I will talk to you. We will try and find you that missing book that you
Yeah.
can find, that you remember. And if we can't find it, we will commiserate with you.
Yes, we will.
Or we'll do our very best.
Yeah, we'll do our very best. We always try our very, very best. And I don't. What one might not know is that both Christiana and I are in the reference department. We could have, there's no reason why it couldn't have been somebody from youth services or circulation doing this. Just happens to be two reference people today.
Yeah.
So I started this painting of the shell a little bit before we went live, and one of the nice things that I like about this kind of project is that you can add layers. It is something that I had to learn, because when I was my kid's age and a little bit, even twice that, like when I was a teenager, I was like, okay, I'm done, woohoo! And that would be the end of that. I was like, or you can put it down for a little while and do something else and come back and you might come up with a really cool idea. I like using shells particularly because the way that the acrylic absorbs into the shell itself is kind of variable. Like on this shell that was out on the beach for a real long time and there was no shininess to it at all. It was sort of like bone bleached. Kind of creepy a little bit, but you can see there's lots of like little pock marks that naturally happened, and so it changes the texture of the paint and how it is seen, and what you see here versus what you see way back here, of course, way different. And then you'll have another kind of shell, like this one has purple and interference purple on top of it, and it's still a little damp, so it's not ready to, if I put any paint on it now, it would just brush everything off and go back to the original shell color. Or you could use the other side and have an entirely different painting experience. One of the things that I like about going to visit the beach is that you pick up a wet shell and it looks so cool. And then when you bring it home, it starts to look kind of dry and less interesting. So sometimes if you add paint, it can recreate that wet, shiny experience. Like, I don't know how much you can see of like just adding water changes the color of the shell. So I think I would want to keep a pattern that would show off the natural features of the shell's color, because I can, but I don't have to. I can literally do anything I want because I'm the boss of me. And sometimes I think, oh, well, I'll paint this. And I'm like, no, it's fine just the way it is. I think I'll leave this one alone and just put it back. This was out in my garden from I don't know where. I just collect shells.
And I'm deciding, I'm finally pulling out my embossing powder.
Ooh, yes.
Be a very fun project for that.
Yeah.
I've mentioned it a few times that I have embossing powder.
Show me.
Which is the gold, the glittery
Yes.
gold.
How are you going to affix it?
I have a pen, a Versamarker pen that has a special, slightly sticky ink.
Ooh. So you can have glittery writing.
So you can have glittery writing.
Oh, nice.
Or in this case, little like glitter stripes, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that. I think it will work on this. I've never done this, but I feel like it will probably work.
Oh yeah, it'll work. I believe in you. And if it doesn't work, well, we just have us and the internet. Nobody will know, right? No, they'll totally know, but they won't mind. They'll understand that we're just
an experiment.
Experimenting is so important. What if you don't try? You don't know.
So I'm going in and just putting. Oops! I just got a bunch of pink paint on me. Okay.
Wah, wah.
I'm putting little stripes of a special ink wherever I want the glitter to be. And then I also have this very fun special bucket. It's the best thing ever. That it's just a glitter bucket.
Oh, wait, it's like a proper glitter bucket, so you can just dump it all back in when you're done.
Yeah, it's like a funnel tray.
Oh, that is brilliant. I need one of those.
It's so good. It's so good. So you can do glitter, or you can do beads, little tiny beads.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I hate having to put away beads.
You just take the little plug out of the side and you can dump it all back in. You don't lose it. So I don't have to be like as shy with the glitter.
Yeah, that's good. You don't want to be shy with the glitter. I'm just entranced, waiting to see what happens.
And wherever there was ink, there's now little glitters.
Oh, nice! So you could put that over the color and it would glitter up the color, or you can leave it on the natural wood.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
And this isn't just, you could do this with regular glitter and glue, but this is actually embossing powder. So
it's extra fancy.
It's extra fancy. So once I'm done doing this, then I get to do the magic part.
The magic part?
The magic part. Have you seen embossing guns, Jess?
You should tell me again, because I'm not sure I remember exactly how the magic works.
So this powder is fancy. It comes in these tiny little tubs. It's a lot more expensive than regular glitter. It's not crazy, but it's a little more expensive. And if you point a bunch of heat at it, it actually like melts.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
The other glitter pieces, and it becomes like a smooth, solid surface.
Yeah. Okay, that's how that works. I've certainly seen things that have been embossed, but that doesn't mean I understood how it happened. I figured it was, magic. No, it is.
So I have this special thing called a heat gun that is just like a fancy hair dryer. It gets hotter than a hair dryer.
Yeah, and you probably wouldn't want to put your hair under it.
And it's really loud, so I'm going to mute my mic when I'm using it because it's so ridiculously loud. And it just will like shift. It will melt all of it, and then it becomes way more permanent than glitter because glitter falls off all the time. And once you emboss it, it does not come off. It just melts like onto the object.
That is cool.
So I'm going to mute it so you don't have to listen to a very loud sound.
That's good. You should warn me when you start. Are you starting? Is that... Oh, yep, that's it. She's going. Cool. I have decided that since we were just talking about magic, that what I'm going to write on the inside of this shell is something to do with magic. Magic is real or magic happens. I haven't decided yet. I have to decide very soon though, because I would like to put this shell down. Or I can demonstrate wait and see and just write magic. And then, oh, I don't know. I mean, I just added some interference color on the outside, and now you can actually see in this light that it is shiny. Ooh, and there is more shiny. It looks like it is embossed. The glitter is embossed, hooray. And now it will be stuck on there and not just rub off on your hands. That is so cool.
And it creates more of like a smooth, so it's a glitter embossing powder, so it still has a glittery effect, but it smooths out so it almost looks like gold leaf.
That is so cool.
Or a gold paint.
I have some gold paint because I've broken some crockery and painted it and glued it back together and then did the emphasizing the broken pieces. Ooh, that might be another interesting craft along at some point, although maybe not. Or at least the premise of it is very cool. I'm trying to remember what the word is in Japanese.
Yes, I know what you mean, and I don't know the word off the top of my head.
I think it might be kitsunge or something very similar to that.
My little sister studies Japanese, so
she'll tell you later. We can look it up on the internet.
She just graduated college.
Yeah.
So grown up.
Wow.
Virtual graduation.
That's rough.
Yeah. But it's still exciting. Still tough. So then I can just use my little paintbrush to dust all of my glitter away.
And then it can go back into the vessel and be used again.
And not get as many places on my desk. It will still get some places on my desk.
Okay, I went with Magic Happens.
That's fun.
Yeah, and then it'll be down like that somewhere, and then somebody will flip it over maybe, and it'll say Magic Happens.
I'll be like, it does. It just happened.
Yeah.
Wabi Sabi. That's what it is. Will told us. That's one of the things. That's one of the words.
What makes it fancy?
Oh no, the wabi sabi is one of the Japanese words.
I don't think I've ever heard that one before.
Oh, so maybe there's multiple words.
There must be
one
multiple.
of the words, because that means like the idea that something like is more beautiful when it's been mended.
Yes, which I am totally embracing that premise a lot these days. There, I think I might be done with this one.
I really like it.
So good. And there we've got, I think that one's done too. I didn't put anything on the bottom, but that's okay. Keeping it simple. It has balance on it. And it can go with my, oh, so one of the other ones that I did, I love doing themes sort of in a theme. So here we have like the one that I just did, and this is the one that I did last week. So it has, it's also shiny and has some interference purple on the top, and then black and blue and gold on the inside. It says peace. So,
and I have my stripey stick.
Stripey stick!
This would be fun to do like a bunch of stripey sticks and then put them in a vase or something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe like some polka dots. I would put polka dots on there too.
That would be good. Or you could have a polka dot stick and a stripey stick.
Yeah, and all within a color theme.
Yeah, I like that. It would also be really fun to then use this as like your wall, like if you go.
Oh yeah, like you
And then
can.
you have fun painted things on top.
Ooh, we could. If one had the capacity to drill holes in shells, you could use that for like the anchoring point, and then have these and use maybe some leftover yarn that you might have to make a quasi wind charm or just wall art.
That would be really fun. And then here is my oh hello.
Oh, hello.
Oh hello.
Hello, pet rock. Oh, finally. Nope. So one of the downsides of using acrylic is that if you don't have a very thick layer, it will, in fact, brush
Smooch.
right off, especially if it's not totally dry. Like if it's dry, it's one thing. When I was a grunge kid in the 1990s, I painted my leather jacket with acrylic, and it worked great. And it's still on there. I still have it. I just don't wear it very much.
It's very sturdy. And it's like one of the least expensive paints. Which is,
yeah, I feel like it's very undervalued.
Yeah, it's very nice. We are almost all done.
We are almost out of all done.
Wild.
I know, the fastest. Well, I mean, I've been looking forward to this like for days, so of course it went fast.
Thank you for joining us, Jess. It was very fun.
I am so glad that I could participate. It's nice hanging out with you. This is like the longest I've gotten to hang out with anybody in a while.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm going to do with my old paint that I have so much of?
What are you gonna do with it?
I'm going to take it down to the worn out wooden bench that I have outside, and like almost all of the finish came off of it. And so I'm just gonna take all of this paint and apply it to the wood.
That sounds fun. I like it. That's the biggest found object.
Yeah, that is in fact the biggest found object, is a wooden bench. But let's roll with it.
Thank you all so much for joining us again this week. So next week we will be doing another project. At the same time at 4 p.m. we'll be doing, oh no, now I've forgotten what we're doing next.
It was the envelopes.
Yes, the envelopes. We'll be making our own envelopes out of whatever paper products you have around in the house. And it's a good time to send a letter right now. So we'll be making envelopes that you can send in the mail. You can put a stamp on them and send them to someone who maybe you can't go see in person right now. It'll be really fun and you'll get decorating these. So I'm very excited.
Yay.
Thank you again, Jess, for joining me.
Thanks, Christy. Talk to you on the internets.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.